releasing all that energy up and out, right? We don't want that explosive event to happen in our plane. We want it to go up and out. That's why we address backdrafts with vertical ventilation. So we've talked about backdraft. What is an attic fire presenting as? A potential backdraft, right? It's a high heat, high pressure environment that's starved of oxygen. This fire, and just about weekly on nearmiss.com, any of these things, you will hear firefighters entered the structure, began to pull ceiling, fire conditions deteriorated rapidly, forced the guys out the window. It happens all the time because we don't understand what we're doing. We show up to a house and it's clear, right? We see smoke from the eaves, we know we have an attic fire. We can walk all through this house because the house is not involved. It's pretty simple. All right, guys, we got an attic fire. Let's go put it out. Take a hose line upstairs. We can see real clearly. Pull some ceiling and put it out. If the first thing we do to this environment is open up a hole with our pipe pole, what did we do? Yeah, we created a low pressure point. This is high. This is low. This is even lower out here. This is the same as forcing the door on an enclosed structure. It's a compartmentalized space. The attic space is a compartmentalized space. You want to see some rapidly deteriorating conditions. Imagine this entire space of high pressure, high heat being forced out an 8-inch by 8-inch hole that you created with your pipe hole, because it's going to do it. It's going to do it fast. This is a ventilation point. If the first thing you do is you puncture that space with your pipe hole, it's going to come your way. When I did this class up at South Metro, one of the Castle Rock guys came up to me and he's like, man, it's like you got a pop can shook up. You got a Pepsi, and it's sitting on top of the roof. You going to turn it like this and open the lid? No, you want that to go up and out. I used to preach that the only way to address attic fires was to vertically ventilate. Of course, that's best practice. Of course, we would like to get on the roof and cut a hole and let everything go out and up before we pulled ceiling and extinguished it. That would be the best practice. But if we have to, you can use a gable vent. It's not ideal. This little gable vent on the side is pretty small. It's designed for that massive airflow, right? Just the heating and cooling of the day, moving in and out. It's not designed to handle this. But by using it to relieve some of that pressure, at least this isn't going into the house. If your first action on an attic fire is to relieve it to the outside in some fashion, at least you're controlling that catastrophic event. You're preventing the backdraft by relieving that pressure and giving it an avenue to the outside that isn't into the house. It's not the best, but it's better than dumping it into the occupancy where you're trying to work. A lot of times, unfortunately, when guys go in and they pull the ceiling, they don't even have their masks on because they can see clearly. The fire is in the space above them. They're going to pull ceiling and put the water on it. They think that it's all going to stay up. But because of that intense pressure in that confined space, it's going to dump out.